All right, welcome to another episode of 35 All Grip. Today's guest, Matthew Deitch.
Hello, good to be here.
Thanks for being here, Matt. I got a short little intro for Matt for the people that might not know who he is. Matt is a pioneer of the Asheville downhill scene. He's got numerous Skatehouse media parts that showed the world what the terrain was like in the region. If you think you found a road around Asheville, I pretty much guarantee Matt's already skated it.
True, I get a lot of messages. Oh, have you seen this one? Yes.
Yes, he has. I'm actually going to start this interview off with a guest question.
Okay, fire it off.
We got a guest question from Bailey Weinkoff here. Here we go.
Hey, this is Bailey Weinkoff. I have a question for Matthew Deitch. My question is, what is your first memory of skating elk?
Ooh. Okay, that's a good one. And I know exactly my first memory of skating elk. It was magical. Me, Jack, I believe Kevin Kang, Garrett, and Preston had come up to Asheville, and we were skating with Philip Ashelman. And we skated Bartrams, did some hairpins and stuff, and then we went to Paradise before we knew how to open the gate. And so just blind dropped it. Boulder is still in the road. And yeah, that was an experience because you had to hike back up it too. And so yeah, we went from Bartrams to Paradise. And then as we were driving out down Elk, I was like, yo, what is this road? And yeah, Philip Ashelman, he's like, I think some people might skate it sometimes. I don't know. And we went down, I think, 2 corners, got to like where the park is. And me and Jack were like, no, turn the car around. We're skating down this. And yeah, so also I'd never seen the road, blind drop. And as you're well aware, it's a beautiful place. And yeah, definitely a journey from top to bottom with a lot of foot braking. A lot of foot braking. I think Jack has a video of it, but the GoPro's basically pointed at the ground, so you just see our feet foot braking.
Jack was claiming that may have been the first Paradise run ever.
First Paradise run ever? No.
He was saying, he was making bold claims. So
never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
No.
Yeah, there's definitely older footage that exists of that kind of Philip Ashelman, Troy Lehman crew doing runs.
Hell yeah. I've heard those names come up quite a bit. Was this your first, were you already in Asheville? Had you been there before? Or was that kind of like one of your first trips to Asheville?
I think that was my first trip to Asheville proper for downhill.
No kidding.
That would have been high school. Loaded up my mom's minivan with the Groms and Jack and Preston and rolled up here.
That's quite the proper welcoming, I'd say.
Definitely.
3 pretty awesome roads. What was the Charlotte scene like growing up?
Yeah, okay. So that was interesting. That was in the days of Facebook groups. There was one crew, and one crew would die and another would pop up and the Facebook groups would change, but it had enough hills that you could go and learn techniques, sliding or cornering, that kind of stuff. But it was also, 2-hour drive up here. And so when Jack and I started skating together downhill, and eventually we met like Brandon Corey and Bailey and everyone, and started coming up to the mountains with them, and then it was weekend trips.
Awesome Definitely hear a lot of those names still to this day, still doing it. So that's what's up. What about Segs? What's going on with Segs?
Segs Southeast Grom Squad.
Yeah, who is that?
That was Garrett, Kevin, Philip, Johnny. Rutherford and Brendan Brown, and they were just kind of, so I guess you had with that North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee. So it was kind of like this southeastern trio, and they were probably all like 16 at the time, 15, 16, and traveling around racing and skating hills and stuff.
Garrett was telling me like you would like pick him up and y'all would go out to like Lake Lure and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Roll up, say hi to mom, put Garrett in the van, and a lot of Lake Lure trips. That's where our first mountain trips were with Bailey and them going to Lake Lure. That was always the spot.
What roads were you kind of going to in the kind of early in the start? What was your look?
Stuff you wouldn't know the name of, like roads you wouldn't even think of as a run. You know, like I remember behind the Ingalls, there's like one hairpin, so you can go and like try and do a slide around a hairpin, and then across the street from the Ingalls, there's this straight road that went 50. So that was a place to get some speed going. Now that I think about it, just all the stuff immediately around the Ingalls was the the start there, and then we started graduating to some bigger roads, and that's when you get to like Janitor and Can. Lake Lure pavement back then was pristine. It's a little weathered these days, but it slides really well, grips really well, and so a mix of double yellows and neighborhoods. Incredible.
Cool spot to be going out to. What were you pretty much like, yeah, I'm gonna move to the mountains and pursue this, or?
Oh yeah, for sure. When I was like finishing high school, applying to colleges, that was definitely number one on my mind, was going to mountains and roads. And Asheville was my first choice. At the time, Boone was the downhill scene. Like everyone who wanted to skate downhill would go to Boone, and also it's a much bigger school, so there's way more people rotating in and out, keeping the scene alive. So for many years, Asheville, despite being the bigger city, had way smaller crew here, just a handful.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty tight knit, especially. I mean, like, would you want to kind of elaborate like on AGP Downhill and kind of how that kind of came into fruition?
Asheville Garbage Patrol. We that was me, Jack, Kyle K, JY Jelly. I guess David and Ethan were with us too, and I guess at the time everyone had longboard crews with like acronyms. I guess the only one I can think of right now is LBDR, but I swear there was more.
You're like, we're getting an acronym.
Yeah, we need an acronym, and came up with that. And so I guess there's maybe 5 or 6 of us actively skating downhill. I don't know where the name came from. I think it was probably the acronym came first, and then we just had to come up with words. I don't even remember exactly how that creation went, but that was our Asheville crew, and we made some videos, and just a lot of traveling around skating, because there was a lot to be explored. Wasn't definitely not the first, not the last. And there's still plenty of untouched mileage out there to be done. Spent a lot of time, those guys, looking at the map and then driving there to see what there was.
Incredible. Actually, speaking of that map, I got another guest question.
All right.
Pertaining.
I think I know where this is going, but let's hear it.
All right, here we go. It's from Garrett Gorley.
Hey y'all, this is Garrett, your local stuntologist, aka tarpologist. I am just calling to say Matt is a absolute legend. He fostered me and Kevin's growth in downhill, and he moved to Asheville, and I just want to talk about his time in Asheville in the embryonic days when he had that super cool map, and I remember we'd come and visit, and we'd use that map to choose where we'd go skate. Yeah, so I'd like to hear about that era.
Oh, the map.
Also, do a stunt beer.
Also do a stunt beer. All right, life's short. You got to stunt it. I don't have a stunt beer off the top of my head here, but we'll get one in.
We'll get one in here. Garrett, we'll get one for you.
That's funny because Garrett actually, he sent me pictures of that map the other night. I guess he was thinking about it. Okay, the map. So
yeah, what's up with this map?
There's a couple things up with this map. So first off, it's super sick. I love maps, and this is like a raised relief topographic map of Western North Carolina. So it's like hard plastic. All the mountains raise up, and you can see a lot of roads on there, at least the major ones. And it's also great for learning the terrain, and it's I don't know, it's like the difference between having a photo on your phone and having a actual film printed photo in your hand. Like having an actual map that you can all sit around at a table and point out spots was really good, because that's kind of our first start. All right, look at this physical raised relief map that's almost as big as this table, like from here to here. And pick areas and locations, and then go into Google Maps and start looking and seeing what's there after checking out what the mountain range looks like. So yeah, a lot of time spent with that map. And the other thing about this map, which if you ask Jack about it, he likes to bring this up, is it is a great flirting device. Yeah, I don't.
Unheard of.
Yeah, who knew? Women love maps too. No, but yeah. So I guess it's I don't remember the first time. That sounds like a serial problem. No, but I guess at some point we're at a party or something in college, and I was telling this girl about my map back at my house, and it's never gone away since then. Me and Jack, for years, I'll be somewhere and he'll just come over and be like, "Hey, has he told you about his map yet?"
Hey, man.
But
everyone loves that topographic map.
Yeah, it's really fun.
So, I mean, we have a ton of roads here in Western North Carolina, and I remember you kind of mentioning to me years back about why we have so many roads in this area. Would you like to kind of tell the people why we have so many roads here?
Expound, enlighten. Yes.
Enlighten them.
And actually, I didn't realize, we looked this up before to make sure we got the facts right, but I didn't realize how long this program actually went. I thought it was shorter. So since 1989 up until 2012 to 15, somewhere in there, North Carolina had this program to pave all dirt roads, basically. They made a list of every gravel and dirt road in the state that was eligible for paving, particularly rural areas, and went about and did work. And so over those 30 years almost, I guess, 25 years, they paved, 15,000 miles of road.
Some insane number of mileage.
Yeah, just paved incredible amount of roads. Anything that was dirt, they looked at it and said, can we put pavement here? So the result of that is there's just an absolute abundance of paved roads going over mountains because, they thought about it in terms of driveways that they're serving on the roads. I think they've paved over 90% of eligible roads for paving in the state. So they ran out of roads to pave and said, I guess we have to end this program. And so all that budget actually got switched over to maintenance, and we do get a lot of fresh paved roads around here. It happens pretty frequently, I'd say.
We really do. We've had some people say this before, like check on your local runs that maybe you've been kind of haven't hit in a while, and you're like, oh, it's pavement's screwed. Might be repaved now because DOT will just come through this area and repave stuff. So check your locals.
Yeah, go scope it out.
You've had a few spills, certainly, skating downhill. One time in particular, I remember you may have gotten like an infection or something in your leg or something. What was up with that?
I did. Okay, so that wasn't actually from downhill.
Oh, shit.
I'd hit my shin on a ledge at the skate park, I think, or maybe I hit it with my board. I'm not sure which one it was. And yeah, it was just this tiny little cut, and yeah, it just blew up so fast. Like overnight, my leg just got totally infected. And I guess, what's the word? Sepsis, when it enters your bloodstream. I went to the hospital for it, and yeah, with antibiotics, they're careful not to give you the crazy stuff for super strong antibiotic resistant bacterias. So they wait for you to be like on death's door, and then they say, okay, nothing else worked, we'll give you this now. So that was pretty brutal.
And they gave you the good stuff.
Definitely, I was on the good stuff. I was pretty loopy there. But yeah, so that happened. That was a good time. It was actually on New Year's Eve. Preston and I think Brad were coming down from Boone, and yeah, I was like, all right, cool, I'll see you guys tonight. And then by the time they showed up, I couldn't walk. So I was like, they walked in the door and I was on the couch and I was like, can you drive me to the hospital? And oh yeah, that's where I went.
I'm glad you got that taken care of.
Yeah, definitely. I've been pretty lucky with downhill where I've never had I guess you would call it catastrophic crash. Actually, my worst injury is from snowboarding, not even from skateboarding. Lot of road rash. Lot of road rash. Man, I forget who it was. Alex, Northeast guy, has that candy shop, soda shop. Yeah, his name's Alex. Anyways, guy came down to Skate Hills, and yeah, he had messaged me, I guess, on Instagram or Facebook. I was like, yeah, I want to come down and skate. And I was like, okay, what's your proficiency? I didn't know who he was. I was like, what's your proficiency level? Like, can you slide? And he's like, I want to go 50 miles per hour into hairpins. I was like, okay, well, we can make that happen. So yeah, we went to Paradise, and he did like one run. Was like, okay, I guess I've gone 50 into hairpins. That was crazy. And yeah, I was young and dumb at the time, and always used protection. I was wearing a helmet and gloves. That was about it. And we're at the top of Elk because we had decided to move on to calmer waters. And yeah, he's like, I knew the roads were crazy, but I didn't know the skaters were too. I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, dude, you have scabs for knee pads. And I like looked down, and he was right. It's just like dual capped, fat scabs on there. And that's when I was like, yeah, actually there's technology for this exact problem. Maybe I should try using it. And yeah, so I bought some TSG knee pads. They're the best for downhill.
Would you say this is kind of around the time where you transitioned into like the pajama pants and knee pads look? I wanted to kind of touch on that style you were rocking for a little bit.
Yeah, I went pajama pants and flannel with knee pads underneath. I don't know where I guess there's the G forms. People were wearing G forms underneath their pants, and then the TSG knee pads were pretty low profile, so you could slide those under baggy pants too. And yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just like the college kid try to look like you don't care kind of thing, wear pajama pants to class. So I was kind of in that phase and mentality, and yeah, got to carry your style with you everywhere. And so I was stupid as outfit, honestly, because pajama pants are always like the thinnest material. So the second it brushes against the road. Not even if I fall, just brushes against the road, it disintegrate. And yeah, definitely wrecked a lot of pajamas and flannels. And the thing about the knee pads underneath too is it puts a hole when you slide. And,
Oh, absolutely. Immediately.
yeah, but it's aesthetic. It's aesthetic.
It's quite the aesthetic. It certainly is on my mind as like a downhill skater aesthetic through the years, through the generations.
I feel like maybe there were other people wearing pajama pants at the time. I don't know. I'll have to think back on that. You know what? I'm going to claim it original. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, Matt originated that.
No one else wore pajama pants on a skateboard before I did.
So y'all were, I mean, you mentioned earlier you were just looking at maps and kind of going out to places. I'm sure you have quite a few first descents you could probably claim, you know?
Yeah.
One that comes to mind is I remember seeing a picture of you and Jack at Zabalba.
Yeah.
Do you want to touch on your experience the first time rolling up to that road?
Yeah. First time skating Zabalba. We did not blind drop it, I believe. We definitely drove that one. Just because like we'd been using, I guess it was Fine Hills, you know, so you could see the grade. And it's really not that far out of town, but it's tucked into a smaller mountain range out there, Leicester way. And yeah, so we had found that road. We went out there. I think someone else was with us. I think maybe Kyle K was with us, perhaps. Hard to remember. But yeah, that road was horrifying because I think, at least for us and what we were skating, I mean, that was pushing the limits. I mean, that thing is steep, fast, huge slides, giant trucks driving up it too. There's that truck place at the bottom, so you just get giant dump trucks on this, what was it, like 18% average grade road.
Wildly steep open road. And yeah, so the very top of it, there's these kind of fields there where they got you know, cows beefing there, and I don't know why it kind of looks like South America somewhere. And I guess Xibalba is the place of death in Mayan culture, I believe. And yeah, we hadn't dropped this road yet. It was like horrifying. It looked like Brazil or something. And yeah, so we went with Xibalba, and because I mean that thing was like, it was like the neighborhoods like Cannes or something like that, where it's steep, huge slides, but double yellow open road. And yeah, definitely was just fear bending the first run or two there. But we leathered up for it. We're like, okay, you know, this feels really real. You should put something on. And yeah, that definitely opened a new level of skating and control. Because I mean, you have to throw like 100-foot slides in your lane accurately into these corners, or else you're gonna have a really, really bad time. There was the Jack Trainer's video. He has a raw run there somewhere on the internet.
Excellent
but there's like 3 different double yellows or something like painted in the first left slide.
Yeah, the first left. Yeah, they're going different ways. So depending on which double yellow you follow, because I guess they've just painted over, but not. They missed, I guess. And so, yeah, you have to be careful which double yellow you follow, because you might end up actually over it into this steep blind hairpin. So, yeah, that was a little optical illusion there to trick you, make things more interesting.
Well, it's definitely a fitting road name. Y'all did a really good job naming that one. And I just wanted to say, too, all the road names in Asheville have really good names. And you know,
we put some thought and effort into those. Yeah,
there's some really cool names out there. You know, you got Rum Run. Mm-hmm. You got Jenkum.
That one's Kyle K. Gotta get that one all to him.
Oh man. Well, I think it's time for us to move into a segment I like to call Name That Road.
Oh, okay.
So Matt, I'm going to describe a road to you.
Mm-hmm.
And see if you can guess.
Okay.
And
all North Carolina, or are we going worldwide here?
We're going North Carolina. This is North Carolina. It's something you've skated at. Try and keep it, you know,
Okay, yeah.
I'm not trying to stump you.
You trying to trick me?
Well, I am kind of, but everyone guesses these so easily. So,
All right, I'm excited.
first vague clue. There is a view at the top of this road.
Paradise?
No.
Elk?
Nope.
Jenkum?
Nope.
Mount Doom.
Nope. You want another clue?
Yeah, give me another one. Because I think they all got views.
I wanted to go like crazy vague. All right, this one's might fucking give it away. There is some Jersey barriers on this road.
Oh, Jersey barriers. Oh, Sucky.
Correct.
Woo!
Yeah, I knew that was going to give it away.
Okay, there is quite the view there.
There is. I have another road. This one is for the listeners. So if you guess this, just comment on Instagram. I'll put out a reel for this. So here's your clue. This road is the first video on AGP Downhill's YouTube that Matt Deitch stars in. That's your clue.
Oh, you're stumping me here.
Thanks for playing. All right, so we were just talking about Camp Sucky. I wanted to get into kind of when the Skatehouse media folks came to town, and you really got some incredible footage on some roads, including Camp Sucky. And no one, I mean, at that time, there wasn't really that many videos out of the region. And I really think that your videos on Skatehouse kind of started giving a glimpse into like what the roads were really like around here.
Yeah.
So like, how was that having the California folks come out and filming and hanging out?
Yeah. So I guess to back it up, there's the Skatesgiving trips been happening for a long time, and the torch kind of got passed a little bit, but it's largely started off with the Northeast crew coming down in a van, common open road crew. So that would have been Anthony, and you also had like Matt K, Dubler going on those, and so with both of them moving to California and doing Skatehouse Media, it kind of got rolled into becoming a Skatehouse Media trip, the annual Skatesgiving trips. And so they would come down in the Comet van and go out and hit roads. And I think before, they're definitely, they had been stopping, like I said, Boone was the spot, and that's kind of where a lot of people were. So traditionally they'd gone through Boone. I think kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, Anthony, you can comment on this one, but I think they were largely skipping over Asheville, but then would skate stuff south of Asheville. So like getting down towards Sucky and stuff on the South Carolina line there. Oh, am I giving that away? Bleep that out. Bleep that out. Yeah. DM me your spots.
They know too much.
They know too much. Burn after reading. Yeah, so Skatesgiving vans, they would come down, and so that's how I ended up meeting a lot of those guys, because they came through Asheville, and we skated like Paradise and Elk and Mount Doom, I think 151, Rum Run, all that kind of stuff, and I mean, I guess that was around 2014 or so Jack and I had like just started going to races and events and skating outside of the state and getting exposure to the rest of the world of downhill. Because, I mean, we learned basically skating together, watching YouTube videos, and then started to link with some of the other North Carolina guys, but never going much outside of that. So it was definitely, I really look forward to those trips and them coming to town. Because, I got to, skate with people whose videos I were watching and had inspired me. And then also, push my own level. I remember taking like, Paradise runs with Louie, just being like passing each other back to back and just full raging. Probably some of the fastest runs I've ever taken down Paradise were with Louie on Skates Giving. And then I guess I would be remiss if I didn't give a huge shout out to Max Dubler, because
Shout out.
yes, shout out to my boy. Skating with him, and it was awesome. Definitely see him as like a downhill mentor, I guess you could say. Showed me the ropes, because at that point when we started traveling and going on trips together, he also put me on with Madrid at one point. So that was kind of, we had done a couple regional races, but once the Skates Giving cruise came through, that's when I think we really started to get in touch with the larger community.
Absolutely. Yeah, like no, you're right. I wasn't given the Skates Giving Camp Sucky video. I mean, that's a pretty incredible video, the corner to corner shot.
Yeah, true. I guess the videos too. When you mentioned those, yeah, we made some pretty sick videos. There's
pretty sick videos. I'll post some videos out and put them on Instagram, but a lot of these videos are not on the internet with the Skatehouse Media website. Blackout.
Yeah.
So I'll try and revive some of these clips we're talking about and put them up for the people, because I think some of those videos are like some of your best work.
I'd agree.
Some pretty insane skating.
The Sucky run, those pajama pants and knee pads for you. I mean, could just absolutely wreck those by the end. But yeah, that was definitely first top to bottom raw run on Sucky, because there's that, like you said, Skatehouse video with corner shots, and you can kind of see the steepness of it. But yeah, man, that road super crazy, and just was like, okay, here's my chance. Gotta put it down, and we did it. There's a Paradise run I did with Matt and Matt K, and he had put the camera on the front of the car, but then was standing out of the sunroof while someone else drove, and he had a stick, so he was kind of moving it around, and that got kind of
He's
cool.
holding it out of the window?
It's mounted.
I know this video you're talking about.
It's mounted on the front with a long stick.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
And so he's standing out of the sunroof holding the stick, moving it around to give it that kind of motion and follow. But yeah, that, and I think the Toucan video I did with Matt too. All my best raw runs are with Dubler, and it's a tie between Deitch and Phil and NCDH, but realistically, also Matt K put it down and got some fire on those trips.
Oh, absolutely. Super awesome vids. I'll link the people in the show notes. So at this time, you're unsponsored still, or I guess you were riding probably for Two-Tone at this point.
I was riding for Two-Tone with this when the Skatehouse videos came out. I was riding for Action too, so we were teammates.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Action was at that point.
Yeah. That Action. So my first sponsor was Two-Tone from Anton. But Action, and also I did some of my best work on the Mini Ladon.
You truly did. Like, that was your board, dude.
Just so warped with Jessup grip tape and sim trucks, and but it did it. That was a fast board.
You were very diehard symmetrical truck guy for a long time.
I was.
Things have changed now, but
I caved.
But I mean, you really started pushing your switch skating at a certain point. It just seemed like you were like just skating everything switch. Was there just like a vendetta you had to just like, I'm gonna skate everything switch? They're like,
oh yeah, okay. So where that came from was, I was still in college at UNCA, and I guess I just started to notice the imbalances of the body due to downhill. Tucking and leaning. You work one muscle on one side, but not the other side, and you do it all the time. Same thing with skate park and every street as well. And I don't remember exactly how I got the idea, but I was just like, okay, well, maybe I can balance my body out by just skating switch. So I started by skating to class and work, switch every single day. Just your average commute.
Fundamentals,
exactly. Pushing, turning, foot braking, sliding. I'd go session and just practice switch slides and stuff. And after a little bit, I was getting pretty comfortable. It's actually really interesting learning stuff switch because you already know what the body mechanics are and how they should feel. So like when I would go to learn a slide or something like that switch, sometimes it felt more technically correct because I didn't have the bad habits that I had in my typical slides that had taken years to get to.
it's like a fresh slate.
Yeah, exactly. I notice I say feel. It might not look that way, but it feels that way. And so I just went in on switch, and once I got pretty comfortable with it, there wasn't many people really skating switch downhill. Like I think Byron and Liam might have been the two people I can think of that, put some inspiration there, but kind of a different style. Liam definitely, he's got his stand-up slides, crushes them, huge switch slides. Byron was doing some switch tucking and down runs and stuff, and Will Royce and Norm, we also got some good switch runs in together. But yeah, I was just really enjoying skating switch. Also, it made roads that weren't scary again, like Elk, for example. Yeah. And I have what I would say I have two unique contributions to downhill, and one of them, I'm claiming it, is the switch foot brake. Fully utilized within a run. I got that on Elk, and I also got it on Paradise. Yep. So if you've got switch foot brakes on video before me on a gnarly road, let me see that.
Let's see them. Let's see your switch foot brake.
Show me your switch foot brake. So it's not a very good contribution. Honestly, it would probably be better without it, but I'm claiming it.
I also wanted to touch on with your switch skating. You really kept it like you're going down the hill switch, but you're being directional, like full commit, not 180ing back, like top to bottom, puck down.
Yeah.
Switch skating. And I wanted to talk to you about what you thought about the difference between skating switch and fakie downhill as far as foot placement.
Yeah. Okay. So, yes. So this comes from skateboarding. If you're standing, when you're riding switch, are you on the tail, which is now the nose, or are you on your back foot or front foot, basically? And so I would say downhill is a front foot heavy sport. You're always leaning most of your weight's on your front foot. And so oftentimes what you'll see, I think there's a couple questions in there about 180s in general and switch, but oftentimes what you'll see is after someone 180s and is riding switch, they still are super heavy and dominant on what was previously their front foot and is now their back foot. So it really looks different just because your body is set up different. And with me not being good at standard slides or 180s, which also is part of the reason. It's like, okay, now I'm going too fast to 180 back. I just have to stay switch. Might as well do the whole thing. It's out of safety. So, I really focused, like I said earlier, I knew what it was supposed to feel like and to be over the front foot, face down, ass up, and grip and rip. So, yeah, I just... That's kind of where the mentality came from, and I really wanted to try and mirror that and get that that switching.
Because you're switch skating. You look like you're very front foot heavy switch. Like you have it mirrored pretty well.
Yeah, I was trying, like I said, trying to get that style there, and there was a point where I felt pretty confident I could skate pretty much any road switch that I could skate, not switch. Might be way slower, a lot more slides or foot brakes. But
My second biggest contribution to downhill skateboarding.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I had some pretty hefty roads. Switch Kozakov. Switch Kozakov. That first right switch toe side for me, barreling in, and then the last right, is a
Also
super
switch.
fast grip corner.
Side.
Yeah, like 50, 60 switch. Pikes Peak.
Oh wow! I didn't know you did that.
Oh yeah, that was horrifying because you're above tree line. You're so high up that air braking doesn't matter. So normally, if I skated a run switch and I would just like any run, stand up and maybe carve a little bit. It's a huge noticeable difference in speed. Not at Pikes Peak. I went just as fast as I did tucking, but standing straight up because there's no air resistance there.
That's a big one. You also had Voss. Was it the Norway run? Was it Voss?
Yeah, Voss is it's called. Oh man, I can never pronounce this. Skevert, something like that is where they had the race course for the Extreme Sport Vecco, the Norwegian Downhill Cup for many years. Which plug they have a new road this year, brand new, fresh paved. Right by the festival tent and the lake with a skate park where you can swim. Highly recommend going to Norway.
Looks incredible. Are you gonna go back this year?
It's coming up quick. And I haven't made arrangements yet. If I do, it's gonna be pretty last minute. But like I said, they got this brand new road, and Norway's an amazing place, and all the all the crew out there really crushes it and does good organization on the event. So. Maybe. We'll see.
This kind of the start of your switch vendetta. I'm just going to be calling that now for this podcast, I guess. You used to be a diehard fan of rads. Like you used to only ride rad wheels. And I feel like you did a lot of your switch skating on there. Why'd you stop riding rads?
Yes. Good question. I when Rad came out, I mean, they were the best wheels on the market by far. Just blowing everything else away. And so I rode pretty much exclusively white Rad Advantages for years and years. And so why did I switch from Rad? Which I wasn't riding for Rad. I was just a very, very loyal customer.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They were getting a paycheck off you.
They're making bands. Racks on racks. Rads on rads.
Yeah.
So I've been riding them. They're perfect wheel. And Sucrose hit me up to ride for them. I think, or Norm had talked to them because he was riding for them too. We were in mids and had been traveling and skating a lot, and homie hook up there. Thank you, Norm. And ended up taking the contract with Sucrose. Some budget for racing, a lot of wheels. Thank you so much, guys. Shout out Sucrose. A lot of wheels.
Shout out Sucrose.
Shout out. So and the other thing, I guess, is like everyone that I rode for had always approached me. I guess like Action, friends with Anton with Two-Tone, but Action, Jim had hit me up and was like, "Hey, ride for us." Same thing. Same thing here with Sucrose, and so it feels nice to feel wanted, and also, like I said, the help was a huge support, and so that's why I made the switch off of Rad. And do you have a follow-up question here, perhaps?
How did racing? How'd your racing career?
How did my racing career go after switching to Sucrose. So they're fantastic wheels, and not everyone can be as good as Norm, because Norm just kept up with everyone. I mean, he had James Kelly beat in that heat up there at
Burke.
At Burke.
Oh my gosh.
Riding the Cross, dude.
On the Cross.
On one hand, poor worksman blames his tools. On the other hand, it's a lot harder to keep up with people on Kegels and Rad Advantages when you're riding Sucrose Summits. They're a great downhill wheel, but they're not a race wheel. And so, yeah, at that time, I think I was halfway through IDF tour, was making my big push, like, okay, going out on the circuit, gonna race, hold it down for NC, and so I made the switch to the wheels to Sucrose, and my ranking steadily went down throughout the rest of that season. It was just so hard. On one hand, performance is performance, but gear matters too. And when it comes to racing specifically, they're smaller wheels, they slide a lot more. And I think I ended up 33rd that year on the tour. And that was kind of the start of the end of racing as a career and a focus. So I got to be grateful, but I also got to be honest. Obviously, I have a part two, but man, it's like that high school story. What's the guy from Vote for Pedro?
Oh, Uncle Rico?
Uncle Rico, yeah. He's talking about his high school football game.
Yeah.
And that's like me. Like, what could have been if I just stayed on the Rads. What
could have been, dude? You could have been 32nd.
Yeah.
Overall.
True. Yeah. And it's the same thing with the, science boards, split trucks, split angle trucks, tiny board. Now Magnums are the wheel of choice for sure.
Technology certainly changed.
Yeah.
In the last 8 years.
Yeah, over the years, I was like, man, this is so hard to keep up with everyone. Like, everyone is getting so fast and so good, which is true. But also, as we discussed earlier, I was riding sim angles, Sucrose wheels, not even longboard grip tape, just Jessup or Mob or whatever.
No foot soles.
Horribly placed foot stop. And I decided to convert and go full setup exactly. So I got the Slalom Rogues, Magnums, Mids Black Arrow board, foam block wedge, and foot soles, and just went full upgrade. And I have to say, I saw the light. It's like, there's a reason everyone rides this, because it's really, really good.
You really did go from the eras and your setup just straight to, I guess you're on your Madrid, which we're going to touch on in a little bit about your time with Madrid too.
Already?
But yeah, you really stepped into the future.
Yeah.
Did it kind of reignite a little bit of passion for it, kind of being on something that felt new, or? Yeah,
definitely. Cause I was still living here in Asheville at the time, and we definitely, not to the same pace as before, but still definitely felt more excited to go out and skate downhill. And ride that board, because it totally changes the feeling, changes the way you take turns, the lines you're able to take. Yeah, really cool feeling. Highly recommend a science board.
Absolutely, science board. Believe the science.
Yeah. I guess, there's definitely, this kind of also perfectly fits, because with the switching to Sucrose and realizing racing is, basically coming to the realization that a career in downhill, any way you shape or slice it, is it's going to be cash strapped. It's going to be sleeping on couches. And yeah, I guess I was definitely feeling a little discouraged after the way the season ended, because I started really strong and then fell off there at the end, second half. And between finishing school, changing my perception of myself, not just as I am just a downhill skater, but like, okay, maybe I need to lean into some of my other identity pieces and such. And then, kind of felt transient with downhill for a while there, spending a lot more time in the park. And then, science board really changed that. And you and I went out. I mean, we had the same setup, so
identical boards,
identical matching. And you and I went out and hit some good runs, good laps. Like when we were skating the now repaved, very fast A-frame road that I will not say the name of. Oh, that's your guess. You're which road am I talking about?
Yeah, which road? I almost said it.
Yeah.
What road? I posted a picture of it on my Instagram story today. So when this comes out in like a month,
no one will know.
You'll have to retrace your steps.
Does that road have a nickname? I don't think so.
Not yet. Not yet.
Well, Will has dubbed it NC's fastest road. So
I think it is. But that's a whole nother story.
Let's drop it in the comments. What's the fastest road?
What's the fastest road at NC? Drop in the comments, folks. All right, I got a little game. Got another segment for you to go. It's called Pick a Card.
I've been looking at these and wondering what we're gonna do.
So I already pre-shuffled them, but I'm gonna cut them.
You're not cheating, are you? Got something up your sleeve there.
So Matt, pick a card. He's looking at the deck.
All right. Can I look at my card?
Yeah, of course. Show it to me too.
9 club.
No, I kind of already said this. Why did you stop riding rads? So pick another one.
All right, moving on. Go straight from the bottom of the pile. Ace of diamonds.
Who's the fastest skater on the East Coast?
So yes, that depends who you ask. There's a number of people who claim to be the fastest skater on the East Coast. I think I'm gonna have to give it to Jack Trainer. You know, after many years of battling each other for the ego claim, I think he's got it. And I'll tell you the story. So there's an unnamed skater, and in his Instagram bio, I don't know if he's going to hear this, and I don't know if he knows about this either. But if you hear this, then know it's out of love. He had in his bio like a number of things that he did. You know, you write who you are there, and one of the things he had was one of the fastest skaters on the East Coast. And it just became this kind of running joke to see who could ego claim being the fastest skater on the East Coast in, the most public and consequential situation. So, like, I'm trying to think of some good ones here. There's definitely a time where people also, change their Instagram bios or would put, like, in their comment a picture, like, I'm the fastest skater on the East Coast. I think definitely there was, like, I can't remember where it was, but there's definitely a time where it came up on, like, a podium or something like that, where someone, just claimed in front of everyone, like, I'm the fastest skater.
Bold claim.
It's a very bold claim. And so, yeah, it became this competition. And I speaking of the Sucky Run with Skatehouse Media, when so this was going back and forth, and when that run came out, I asked Max to put in the description on Skatehouse Media, Matt Deitch, the fastest skater on the East Coast, skates
I remember
this road.
this.
So I really thought I had that one with that one. Like, okay, Skatehouse Media is the thrasher of downhill. That's the spot. Skatehouse Media says I'm the fastest on the East Coast. I'm the fastest on the East Coast. But I was outdone by Jack. I got to tell you this story. So we were skating. I think it was Elk actually. We were skating Elk, and we get to the bottom, and there's a sheriff there, and he had pulled us over on the way down. So we got pulled over skating by the cop. Had a follow car with a camera on it behind us too. Pulled over, and the cop walks up to us, and he's like, I don't know what he says, some standard, what the hell are you guys doing? kind of question. And Jack looks back and sees that the camera on the hood of the car is still recording. He looks at it, looks at me, and then looks at the cop and says, "It's okay, officer. I'm the fastest skater on the East Coast." And he just looked at him like, "Oh, really?" And talked our way out of it, out of a ticket there. And
So it worked.
It worked. He was incredulous. He wasn't gonna take it lightly, but he believed him. And so it turns out you couldn't hear anything because of the sound of the engine on the camera. But Jack just looked at that situation and said, "Now's the time." So same thing, someone's got a better ego claim on fastest skater on the East Coast, let us know where it is.
Yeah. Love to see it. Pull another card.
Okay, this is fun.
We'll do one more just because the first one was a
Jack of Hearts.
What's the worst road?
What's the worst road? Oh man, that's tough. That's really, really tough. Honestly, I love all roads equally. I don't discriminate.
He loves them
all. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I was never a big fan of.
Can be anywhere.
Can be anywhere.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
He's stumped.
I'm stumped. This is the hardest question you've asked me so far. What's the worst road? I mean, yeah, there's some stuff out there where, you know what the worst road is actually? It's the blind drop on the way to Rocky Balboa. You know what I'm talking about? There's a road, Rocky, Rocky, and well, you can get to it a few different ways, but one of the ways you can get to it is not coming from the lake side, but coming from the other side. And there's this really just annoying road on the way down. So the top part of it is just so horribly slow. It's just fast enough that you can't push. If you try and kick, you're going down. But it's slow enough that you're if a car comes behind me, they're just going to be so pissed right now because we're just crawling. And then it gets dummy steep, kind of those bendy straightaways where it's okay, should I slide? I don't know. Should I slide? And then yeah, you have to do this just crazy back and forth slide, and then it's over. And we always make people blind drop it on the way to Rocky. It's the initiation, and
you're this is ass.
it's just the worst experience. It's because you right when you think you're safe because it's just doing nothing, and you're frustrated by the experience of having to stand on this board. Then it just gets crazy for about 30 seconds, and then it's over.
Well, we always talk about really good roads on this podcast. So I want to talk about the ones that aren't so good too.
What do you think's the worst road?
I'm gonna make people mad if I say mine.
No, you gotta say it. Hot take.
G-Mini.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you there. Do you care to expand?
I don't got to throw too much shade at it, I'll go skate it, but if we still had Paradise in all its glory, no one would ever go to G-Mini. No. It's a consolation prize. That's all I'll say.
All right. That is a hot take.
All right. Anyways, moving on. So I kind of wanted to ask you, during your heyday, you were skating an insane amount of roads. By your estimate, how many sets of wheels do you think you were going through, like, in a monthly basis or like a year? In a year, or you could say, I guess.
Yeah.
How many wheels does Matt K chew through in a year? And let's say you're...
Okay, let's call it like 2014 to 17, 16. That's like peak skating as frequently as I was. Well, 2012 to 2016, I would say. I'm going to say I was going through per year. Is that word? Per annum?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I had to be... I guess it changed also with Sucrose because before that, like, spying every set of wheels. So, I mean, still that would have been, gosh, like, I don't know, 10, 20? I'm going to call it 20 to 25 sets of wheels a year.
Okay.
Um,
Which is a lot.
Maybe we'll call it 20 because that's like what, around 2 sets a month or so. Yeah, it's easily destroying wheels that fast because I mean, there's roads here you can just core them in a day basically. And then I mean, Sucrose, they're sending me basically like a board box, but entirely filled with wheels.
I saw this one time at Burke. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, and that I mean, there had to be 40, 60, like something like 40, 60 sets of wheels in there.
Oh my gosh!
And yeah, I was definitely quite cavalier with my wheels at that point. I was on the house, baby.
Yeah.
Next round's on me.
Yeah. I'm gonna ride these once.
Yeah. I mean, like, I remember there's a day we were in Malibu, prototyping the grills. You remember the Arbor?
Oh, the Thanier ones, maybe.
Yeah. The not the Summits, but the oh god, I'm forgetting. Round lip. What's the round lip Sucrose called?
Oh, there's Spuds. There's Vices.
Vices, yes, the grills Vices. Yeah, that's their like extra thanny formula, and we went to Tuna with just like this giant cardboard box just filled with wheels, and yeah, there was like me, Mac, not Max. Max showed up later in the session, but it was Sucrose gang, so it was like me, Norm, yeah, I think Daniel McDonald was there too, and yeah, I mean, we were basically doing like a set of wheels a run because I mean they're so thanny and disintegrating, and Tuna has that insane cheese grater like slurry seal or whatever it is on there, and that combo was just, I mean, wheels were basically unrideable after 1, maybe 2 runs. So I think if I'm going like most destructive day of wheels ever, I mean, I think we each had to personally skated like 8 sets of wheels that day. 7.
Like I said, a run.
Yeah, exactly. Like straight up a set a run, and they were they're fucked, you know, like giant, just all the way down, unrideable after that one run each time.
Why is it so satisfying destroying wheels?
It really speaks to the human condition and the destruction we have in us while creating.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just feels good to break shit sometimes.
Yeah. As Fred Durst would say.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, the Sucrose team at that time was just so badass. What a cool lineup. And not only that, the NC scene was straight flooded with Sucrose wheels. Because you were on the team, Garrett was on the team, Matt Ellison. Richard. Like, 2016, Everyone was on Sucrose.
This was Sucroseville.
It was I was pre Powell.
Yeah,
Before the Powell takeover.
That's the transition right there. Next generation.
All right, Matt. We had a request from Garrett earlier for you to do a stunt beer. So
this one's for the Dirty G. Appreciated your question earlier. I appreciate all the work you do for our community, and glad to know you. And so I have here my prop, my beer, and you put them together and you get a stunt. So here we go.
he's pouring a beer into a flower watering pot for the listeners that can't see right now.
Watering pot. Yeah.
Watering.
Is that the right word?
Flower watering. Watering pot?
Yeah. All right. So, stunt it, and I'm a little teapot.
This is the I'm a little teapot stunt beer challenge.
It's got some good flow to it.
Here, can I get a spritz?
Yeah.
Oh, now I can't sell this shirt.
It's gonna be your shirt.
Oh yeah, by the way, we have 35 all grip t-shirts. They're available by the time this comes out. Hopefully we still have some in stock, but
And shout out Stunt Beer.
and shout out Stunt Beer. Go buy a Stunt hoodie.
These beautiful shirts. You know you want one.
There's a graphic on the back too. They'll be on Instagram. Check it out. Okay. Just kind of derailed there for a second.
Yeah. or got our heads in the game, depending on how you look at it.
Whew. Okay. So we kind of barely touched on the Sevier Street house, which was like the skate house. I kind of wanted to bring up, you had quite a few visitors come through. What were some kind of your fondest visitor memories at Sevier Street, or just kind of some moments that stuck out?
Yeah, definitely. So for context, in college, Jack and I lived there. It was right next to UNCA, and had a lot of good times at that house. That was for sure 100% the Asheville Skatehouse for a long time. When I left there, I said we're no longer doing the Skatehouse. I put in my dues because we had so many people come through. Mids crew with Mids van, Action van. There's a bunch of crews. I mean, we had people traveling from far and wide coming to skate here. And favorite memories. Let's see.
Put me on the spot.
No, I got a few. So all the Mids trips were always legendary. When the Mids van was still rolling, and Kai and Stefan and Norm and Steve Kong and everyone would come down, and we'd go pretty wild. I remember the very first time the Mids van came to NC and stayed with us. I think we were pretty fresh in the house, because I remember there not being as much furniture and stuff in there. But we were spitting moonshine fireballs in the house and wrestling and just generally going wild. I think Ed was there too. I remember Ed waking up in the morning with he had gone to bed with 2 cans of beer next to him and fell asleep, and woke up in the morning and sat up and immediately cracked the 2 beers open. And he kept saying, "Are you clocked in?" because I'm gonna clock you out. That was a soundbite.
this.
And I mean, I don't know if you've touched on it, but we also have to give Ed his credit because 35 all grip is a Ed Garner original.
Yeah, Ed Garner terminology right there.
And yeah, it's so good. But yeah, dude, Mids van coming through, having moonshine fireballs. I think Kai and I got into a fight, and he wanted to go sleep on a hammock on the porch. And also, yeah, as I said, there's moonshine involved. So we were far gone, and that was when there was a polar vortex coming through. It was like -20 or something outside.
Oh no.
It's like, God, you cannot sleep on the porch right now because you're gonna die. I don't care how warm that moonshine blanket is. And there's another time they came through, and I was having a house party, and like the Mids van, like basically just rolled straight up to a house party, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. I mean, there's also the time. Well, first, also action. You know, you and Peter Croce and John Zilla coming down. I was getting runs because we're all action teammates, and we skated.
Shout out Action Board Shop.
Yeah.
Just sorry to cut you off. R.I.P. also Action Board Shop.
It's for sale if you want to buy a I believe to be successful shortstop. Maybe it could be yours.
It's available for purchase. So
I think so. Yeah.
But
yeah, you guys came down. We skated Mount Doom for the first time. That was first
Yep.
drop on Mount Doom. That was a trip.
yeah, that was pretty wild. That was also the first time I remember because we drove up 151 going there, and I remember driving up that and just I couldn't believe how turny it was.
Turnt.
I was like, we're not skating down this one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but there's one time when the action van and the Mids van came at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then we were up at Paradise when you could still, get in the gate and hang out all day long, just smoking runs, chain smoking runs, and shooting BB guns and drinking beer and smoking wheels too.
Big time.
Yeah, so when both you guys came down, we had two completely packed to the brim skate vans. I mean, there was like 20 people sleeping on the floor around the house. And then we did the whole Northeast race tour, detour tour. That's what it was.
Detour tour. Yep.
Mm-hmm. That was really good. And yeah, I mean, I also got to just throw the I don't know what you'd call it, the starstruckness out a little bit. Like once, because like we'd have like, Boone guys come down. Then we had out of state, Georgia, Tennessee, or Virginia. Then we started getting more regional crews, and then national, international, and I mean just all the times. I think about it this way. I skipped school. I skipped class in college for one reason. It was skating downhill. You go to a party the night before, you're hungover, like whatever, I'll still make it. Someone wants to hang out, like, I don't know. I mean, let's say I never did. But if there was visitors in town and downhill to be had, no question. Like, okay, we're gonna go out and smoke and skate some runs today. And I had all kinds of people come through. And it's always interesting, the dynamics, too, of running a skate house. Like, it's super different when you have, like, one or two people come compared to if you have a van full of people come, obviously. Some people are, they come down and they just want to skate. It's like, okay, we're just going to go skate all day. Some people want more of the lifestyle guided tour. Oh, we'll go some restaurants, waterfalls kind of stuff. But yeah, that was the zone. So many times, I mean, we had an inordinate amount of skate gear piled up in that place. I recently gave away my wheel box. I guess recently, 2 years ago, gave away my giant box of all the wheels from over the years, and I think Will shipped it out like largely to like Colombia and India and a few other places. So, well, yeah, a lot of those those wheels are still have life out there in the world, being ridden from NC to over the sea.
For the folks that are wondering how many wheels exactly we're talking about, it's probably like a 50-gallon Rubbermaid container filled to the brim with
and then a few
wheels.
auxiliary buckets as well.
A few buckets, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, probably a couple 100 pounds of urethane.
Yeah, you couldn't pick that up on your own. And it sucked with another person. You basically have to drag that thing.
So, yeah.
But yeah, Sevier Street Skatehouse. That was a golden time for sure.
Well, the first time I came down here, that's where I came, and you were always very welcoming and encouraging, and it was cool. It was cool to be able to skate with you and open your home and stuff, because it helped me out. I mean, that's like led to me like moving down here and kind of those early times. So, and you're always a good guest and would bring us to like sick roads, and it was cool.
At that time, we had people coming into town frequently enough that they knew me at Homegrown, because I'd always come in with a giant group of, whoever's in town. I mean, it was like once a month, twice a month, like go in there with 12 people.
Yep.
12 dirty skaters. And they'd be like, "Oh, you brought more people for us?" Like, yes. It's spreading the chicken biscuit word.
Yeah, they should have sponsored you.
Yeah. Homegrown, if you're hearing this, you missed out.
Yeah. It was a prime time. Sevier Street, super awesome. When y'all moved out, that was end of an era.
Yeah.
But that's when kind of APB kind of blossomed shortly after that. So,
yeah, Tyler had moved in up the road when I was in my last year in that house. And him, David, I guess Matt Keon came too, and started bringing up a next new generation of Asheville downhill skaters.
It's wild. We're like on our since then. I would kind of call the Sevier Street part of like the first gen longboard downhill Skatehouse. I mean, I don't really.
There was Barry before that.
That was before.
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
that was like Jack and Kyle and David and Ethan and Josh all in this horrible tiny apartment.
I've heard about this apartment. I don't think I ever went there. I feel like I'd remember.
It's a good thing. You might have caught something.
Oh wow. Well, speaking of Jack, I got a guest question from him.
Looking forward to see what he's got.
Get that ripping. Here goes.
What's up, Deitch Bag? Jack Trainer here, calling in to ask the question that's been on everybody's minds. I've known you for a long time. I've driven lots of places with you. So, it was a little hard to believe when I heard it. When you flipped your car on Old Toll, how fast were you actually going? Because you claimed 15 miles per hour. I don't think you've ever been 15 miles per hour in a car in your life. I will remind you, you are under oath.
Yes.
Thoughts?
No comment. Statute of limitations here on this one. No. No, Jack, that is the truth. However, there is a embarrassing detail missing from this that I will reveal to the world now. Just don't let State Farm hear this. So yeah, I had a roommate at the time, Travis, and he had never skated in his life before moving in with a bunch of skaters at the Skatehouse. Got him off Craigslist. And so yeah, he'd been learning to skate, and he had learned the foot brake pretty effectively. So we were skating Old Toll, and I was driving. And I mean, he was, foot braking. Old Toll is, 20 to 30, right?
It's pretty slow.
It's like 20 to 30, plus he's just foot braking the entire way down. So I was legitimately going between 10 to 15 miles per hour, like crawling down the road. And what happened was I was filming him with my phone while driving, and I was just not paying attention. And there's this little right kink, and there's a bunch of salt on the road, so you couldn't really see the shoulder and where the line was. And don't drive distracted, folks, because my wheel caught the side. I dipped a wheel off the side of the road and immediately caught the side of the mountain, and flipped the car over and then went back onto its side. And I mean, if I had been going the speed limit, I would have been off the side of the mountain for sure. And I had the not my proudest moment, but. Yeah, shit happens. And, so I had to climb out the sunroof of the car, and I was on its side, and the cop came, and she also did not believe my story that I was going 15 miles per hour, but, she had to make the insurance report and measure the distances and everything, and she was like, yeah. I swear on my life, Jack literally was going, 13, 14, 15 miles per hour.
Now he's saying 13.
7.
The story is changing.
7. No, it's like, I mean, I wasn't literally looking at the speedometer too closely. I wasn't looking closely at the road because I would have stayed on it. And, I think slowest car flip of all time. Luckily, no one was hurt. And
landed primo, if I'm not...
Yeah, I ended up primo, not bolts.
Okay.
Not bolts. But yeah, Jack has never believed me on that one, but maybe the missing detail of I was using my phone to film Travis foot brake down Old Toll.
Oh my gosh. The truth comes out.
And there it is.
Wow. All right. Well, I wanted to also touch on the fact that you have a French passport.
I do. Yes.
So Matt's has a dual citizenship.
I do. My mom's French, and all her side of the family lives there.
Matt's also currently living in Germany right now.
Yep, Berlin.
How's Berlin been treating you?
Super well. I couldn't. Yeah, it was a pandemic time decision. I think we're all feeling loopy, and I was looking to get something going, and opportunity came up for a job there when I was working on a career change, and said, yeah, let's do it. And it's worked out better than really could have thought. Super great there. No mountains though. Berlin is very, very, very flat. So I have been slowing down with the downhill these days. We went to the Woodburger free ride last weekend, and spent about as much time sliding on my ass as I did on my wheels and pucks. But I've also committed to full leathers. Just going back to my story about realizing knee pads.
Yeah.
That was a big step for me. Next big step is road rash sucks anywhere you get it. Not just your knee pads. Not just your knees. So
Oh, yeah.
going full leathers with that. And went to the Norway event I mentioned previously. Went out there last year. Might go again in a few weeks. But yeah, been trying different lifestyle, career path, and continent.
How's the skate parks in Berlin?
They are many, but they are not particularly high quality. There's a few. I'm super lucky and blessed to have skated a lot of skate parks. A lot of the best parks around the world, and well, I know what I like. I know what's good. I know what's not good. Max has a great Instagram skate park critic. It's like drinking wine. You sample, you find out what you like, don't like, and sometimes it's just objectively bad wine. And in this case, there's objectively bad skate parks. It's like, yeah, they have a lot of them. And there's a few really good ones that are pretty special, but yeah, it's a lot of like, imagine your classic like early 2000s prefab skate park, like some sort of like tabletop ledge that doesn't make sense, a quarter pipe, and just some other random weird feature. It's like that, but concrete. They have like this company that has these like preformed concrete forms, templates, and they just plop them around.
Lovely.
Which is a shame because the other parts of Germany, other cities, have beautiful, modern, new parks. And but on the other hand, you gotta balance the hate with some praise. It's still really fun. I'm lucky to have met like a really good crew of skaters. Shout out Nola. And been skating a lot of street. And in the past year or two, they've built some. They redid our indoor bowl. Built some new parks. So there's a lot of variety, but and they're getting better. But sometimes there's a rail going diagonally instead of straight. It just blocks your way, and it's like, oh, why did you put this here?
Incredible. I like your eyes. You post some reels here and there of you skating some pretty funny looking stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a cool event the other day. It was my friend's birthday, and he built a ramp, and we went to the park and just stuck it at the bottom of a hill and brought our big soundbox speaker from work, and we just blasted music and skated down a hill and jumped off a ramp, and huge crowd of people came, and this one guy just like rocked up with his drum set, set up a drum set and was playing that alongside the speaker. Got some slides in, because if you went full bore down the hill and hit that ramp, you're screwed. So it's fun to do some hard wheel slides.
Sick. You've been making music too, haven't you?
I have. Yeah, I guess I was doing more singer-songwriter stuff the past few years, and yeah, always wanted to branch out into like electronic, and struggled with when it comes to the technology. And yeah, me and my friend Max been going to the studio every Wednesday working on music, and got a event coming up next year, beginning of year, January, and I'm gonna premiere some music. So since if we're on the internet together, you'll see it at some point. It's under wraps for the moment. However, you got a brand new theme song intro now, don't you?
Yeah. The that theme song we played earlier, Matt made that yesterday.
Yes.
So
It's fun.
new theme song.
I was like, how do you
Thanks,
mix,
Matt.
You're welcome. How do you mix like newscaster intro with like bluegrass? Well, that's kind of my inspiration. So hopefully it worked.
I like it. I guess it's a year in the making.
Yeah.
We were supposed to do this interview a year ago, so this was a long time coming, but
Yeah.
glad we did wait. Anyways, so
And now we're branded. Got merch.
Yeah.
Go check out the merch.
yeah, shirts. Got to plug the shirts again. Check it out.
Yeah.
All right, I got some questions I want to run by you.
All right. Fire away.
So, round lip or square lip wheels?
Square lip. Definitely gotta get that edge digging in, traction, braking power, roll speed.
Open road or neighborhood?
Ooh, it's a tricky one because there is an in between, which is an open neighborhood.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Let me throw a wrench in it. Elk's an open road, but it's also an open neighborhood.
Wow. It's all a spectrum. It's all a spectrum from open
That's
to close.
on one end.
I would have to say that if you had asked me in the past, I would have said neighborhood for sure. I mean, you get to skate a closed road. right? Like you get use the whole road. They're dummy steep, crazy stuff. But there's also the excitement of the open road. You know, you never know what you're going to come across. Get some social interaction.
Yeah.
Angry neighbors. But also, like, I think there's also the element of knowing to expect the unknown, because you can get lulled into a false sense of security on a closed road sometimes, because, like I said, they come in different states. But even, for example, Chi Mini has these all these trails coming off of it. So even if you know there's no cars at the bottom coming up, there could at any point be a motorcycle or ATV that comes off of the side road onto the road. Mm-hmm. You know, same thing with something like Paradise and things like that. So I think expecting the unexpected on an open road, yeah, is pretty nice. And yeah, you get a different style of road building too. You know, I think it's really rare to get the same kind of like banking. You don't really ever see much banking on the steep neighborhood roads, right?
No, you're usually just banging big slides, which is also, I mean, it's better than that.
Yeah, and you know, it's just it feels classic. You know, it's like driving a car, riding a bike. You know, when you're out there on the road, it's just got a certain feeling to it.
Love it. If you had to pick an all-star lineup of people to go out skating, who you taking? Where you going?
How many do I get?
Whatever fits in your car. So I guess 4.
I don't have a car.
Well, you're
yeah, I'm alone. Yeah, okay, so let's say 4 people. Oh, that's tough. All right.
I would pick 4.
Yeah.
Could be anyone.
I mean, I think I'd have to go you. We've had
fuck yeah.
Woo! Yeah, Dan and I have been around to all kinds of races, fan tours, meeting up in Malibu, living together, and some of the best trips ever with you. So you're in the van for sure.
Honored.
Jack, you know, day one. Also, like, yeah, we wouldn't be skating like we are without each other. I'm torn here. I think
he's being very, very
I think I'm gonna have to
delicate with his
go
choices.
Yeah, I was gonna say Teach and Bailey, because I mean, like, yeah, that's the squad. I mean, it's who we ate breakfast with today, and like we all lived together in the same house, and
we've all lived together at some point.
Yeah, and also, you know, like I said, Bailey, you know, he brought me in the same way Garrett was kindly saying that it helped him. Bailey helped me learn a lot, and same with Tej. Like, I remember when we were first meeting up when he was in Brevard, and been going strong since. I mean, that's the crew of boys right there.
Absolutely.
And where are we going? Okay, so there's an island. You know the Gran Canaria Islands where Tenerife is? They're Spanish protectorates off the coast of North Africa. There's a Portuguese island chain with the main island. I think it's called Madura, I believe. I don't know if anyone skated there. I've seen cycling videos from there, but it looks like a Portuguese, maybe less blown out version of Tenerife. I don't know if anyone's done a downhill trip there, but I've never seen a downhill
The Next Frontier, maybe?
Final Frontier. No. Also, I feel like China, Nepal, India,
Holy shit, we're going on a long ass drive.
They all, dude, I think they all have some like some crazy roads, and it's hard to find like the intel you want. Like, you know, Google Maps isn't as updated or and such. But I've spent some time looking around, and I mean, the Himalayas are so huge, and you look at some of these squiggles on the map, and it's like, is that paved? Is that not paved? I don't know, but those are the places I'm thinking. But I think.
So we're gonna go to the Himalayas.
Yeah, dude.
I'm so fucking scared.
You're so high up. You're so high up, you have to wear like an oxygen mask to skate downhill.
Yeah. Gonna need these for the first half of the run.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. What's the best road?
I mean, Paradise is called Paradise for a reason.
Solid. I like that.
You know, and I have to tie it with Elk, because. Oh wait, can I say it? Locations.
You can say whatever you
Yeah,
want.
you know they're off of each other. You know, it's like they are like part of the same tour in place, and also that we talked about earlier, that first day skating in Asheville, we skated Paradise and then Elk, and so I kind of think of Paradise as an extension of Elk. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would have to say they were largely like tied for me. I mean, I love both of them, and you know, Elk feels like home. You know, the neighbors. Mm-hmm. You see the same bears every year. You see the same. Yeah. You watch the cubs grow. You see the same turkeys. You know, they walk up and down the same paths on the mountain. But then, yeah, Paradise. Once Paradise got blown, that was a huge hit, because, dude, Paradise is Elk's the perfect road, but Paradise is the best road. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like, so fast, crazy corners, huge wides, use the whole thing, and like like that first right, you go into that slide full tuck, you're going like over 50, and then you're still going like 30 around this corner after you slide.
Yeah.
And I'm a left turn man. I love me a left turn, but my favorite corner is a right, and it's that first right on Paradise.
Oh yeah, it's one of the top corners for sure. All right, we'll keep it moving. We're gonna do for men and women. Who you think has the best style?
Ooh, best style. I mean,
He's a careful thinker.
I really like. So this is recorded, you know. These words are gonna come back. I gotta make sure I get them right. Dude, I think I might have to give. I guess I see a few different kinds of styles. Like, definitely, gotta give it up to Norm. Like, just absolutely mashes, throws like some cool creativity in there, and like puts it down on some roads. Garrett, I always loved watching Garrett and Kevin skate together, because like they had such differing styles but blended, so get like sweet and sour.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You know,
Garrett's the sour one.
Mac and cheese. Garrett's the sour one. Yeah. Really love that. Aaron Hampshire, shout out. Like, dude, when it comes to just like textbook, like what your body should look like when braking and turning for maximum efficiency, I mean, he's just got some really just like the angles, man.
Got a mean looking tuck.
And look at those angles.
What about for women?
For women, I have to say, I mean, I gotta give it up to Emily. Like, because I mean, obviously there's the just simple prowess. You know, she crushes it, men or women, open and everything. But like, yeah, I remember because she was coming on to like racing around the same time I was, and watching her progression, I would say it's cool to see someone's style, where it came from and how it evolves over time and improves and turns into this just like mean racing machine. So yeah, that I put her there. I mean, Ashley as well. Ashley Weinkoff, super shredder.
Shout out.
Yeah, and I love like her tuck looks really good. I think she's been rocking the Aerolib, which fits her style recently.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was watching her take some runs at. I mean, we've taken a lot of runs together over the years, but at Wood Booger, like putting it down. She's just on some heel sides, was just looking like mean and on point, and like one of the like fastest through the corners. Yeah,
Love it. What's your go-to karaoke song?
oh, I try to sing a new one every time, but if you had to put me on the spot and say, all right, you're going on the stage, what are you gonna put it down? I might go Kiss by Prince.
I've heard you sing that a few times. It's a staple.
It's a staple. Feel comfortable on that one. I got some synchronized dance moves.
I also I meant to ask you where did Revlord come from? Forgot to ask you that earlier.
Yeah. So if you don't know, I was out for a rip for a long time. I'm talking about Instagram handles here, and I had signed up for. Okay, so this is a long, convoluted story. I'm trying to really shorten this one down. I signed up. In high school, I went and did this volunteer thing, and when you filled out a form, there was like a place for a prefix, and I chose Reverend. So throughout the years, I get mail every once in a while for Reverend Matthew Deitch. My mom was always like, "The hell is this? Like, why does this say Reverend on it?" So I already had that in my mind, and so yeah, when we were living together at the White House, I had signed up to be a minister online. You know, you can get one of those cards, and I'd also done the buy 1 square foot of land in Scotland to become a lord. And so with this reverend history and this lord, it just kind of came together. And obviously, like hitting revs in the park, hitting revs down the hill, heavy revs with the boys, and
Big revs, baby.
yeah, that was the day we had the party at the White House with. That was the day that Dumpster Jack's Outdoor Sound Experience debuted, when we all piled into Tristan's van with the karaoke and set up karaoke at the bar.
Yeah.
We just walked into the bar and said, "Hey, can we set up our karaoke machine?"
That was the best day of my life.
Yeah, and I mean, we were sitting outside, and I don't remember. I think we were trying to drink beer through paper towel rolls or whatever the Instagram challenge of the day was, and yeah, a moment of inspiration. Oh, because you were wave cruise, and that was a combination of two things, right?
Yeah.
It was it Booze Cruise before?
It was like Tom Cruise, Booze Cruise,
and then Team Wave.
Yeah, it was like Team Wave, and then I was like, whoa, Wave Cruise.
Yeah. And yeah, it took some inspo on that mashup right there, and you know, put the Revlord together, and
It just made sense.
yeah, it was like it's like when Pokemon evolves or something. It's like it came into my new being, and we'll see. Maybe there'll be another one down the road. But
Another iteration.
I love it, and the official was funny.
Yeah, not official.
Yeah, I think Peter from Mids has his Instagram. It's like Owen Wilson official, because he looks like Owen Wilson. Revlord was taken, and we decided to put the official on there.
Well, that's how you know it's official.
Yeah.
Incredible. Well, yeah, we're getting towards the end here. I didn't know if you had any kind of closing things or anything you wanted to talk about, or Any thank yous of any kind?
Yeah, got a few. Yeah, one thought I had actually. We're putting this stuff on paper right now.
Yeah.
So I mentioned earlier my 2 contributions to downhill. One being the switch foot brake. My other one is I'm going to claim the only skateboard burnout ever done. And if you got the proof, let me know. But there's that road in Alabama where they have the race
yeah.
with the crazy pavement. And if you full tuck into that turn and throw like just a fat slide straight into it, the pavement makes smoke come off of your wheels. And I got a picture of it. And I have not seen anything else. I'm claiming skateboard burnout. I'm claiming switch foot brake. And I'm no longer claiming to be the fastest skater on the East Coast because it did not look so good at Wood Booger last week.
And
I think I finally fell more than Jack. So, oh yeah. So I had that one on my mind. I need to get the ego claims out there.
Oh my gosh.
That being said, yeah, thoughts. I would say that. Yeah, as a closing thought, like it's good to go back over this stuff with you. Thanks for having me on.
Loved having you on, man. This has been awesome.
For sure. Definitely like a lot of fond memories and throw some thank yous out there. I mean, gotta give it up to be real about it. Like there's a lot of times where people saw something in me and offered me a chance. You know, whether that's Jim in Action or Max with Skatehouse in Madrid or Norm and everyone at Sucrose putting me on. Everyone that's supported me that way. And then also, I mean, I put up people at the house here, but people have put me up all over the place. And so thanks to everyone that's made that possible. And also thanks skateboarding for taking me some pretty cool places. And thank you 35 All Grip.
Thank you, Matthew.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate you having you on today. I guess this is the end. Over and out from 35 All Grip.
Over and out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. That was fun.
Dude, that was super fun.